Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, coming to you from beautiful Monaco. Monaco, Monte Carlo. I mean, if you want an incredible place to visit, I couldn't recommend this more. It's one of the most conservative, it's a sovereign nation, of course, very small. I think a population of only about 40,000, but it's one of the most conservative nations in all of Europe, led by, its monarchy, led by Albert II. The Prince of Monaco. It is thoroughly pro-life. And what's so interesting is they don't have, it's a constitutional monarchy, they don't have any left-wing parties at all. They have three parties, political parties. They've got a center party, they got a center-right party, and then they got the so-called far-right party, right? There is a fourth party. It's sort of a center-left party, but they have no seats in their parliament. So it's a very, very conservative country. Some would argue actually the most conservative country in all of Europe. Now, unfortunately, the country that concerns me the most right now here in Europe is the UK. As many of you know, there have been protests and demonstrations breaking out all over the UK. So we're talking Bristol and Liverpool and Manchester over the murder of those three girls and the dance class in Southport, which was just horrific, by the son of Rwandan migrants, and people were absolutely livid, and rightly so. The British are protesting an immigration policy they never voted for, implemented by elite rulers who are ruling according to their own values, interests, and concerns, at the expense of the values, interests, and concerns of British citizens. And so they are absolutely exploding over this in protest all over Britain. How are their aloof elites reacting? By basically blaming the protests on right-wing zealots, far-right, radical right, fringe, led by Tommy Robinson and Elon Musk. As a matter of fact, there are now calls to ban Twitter by these idiot parliamentarians in Britain. To make matters even worse, they're actually threatening to lock up, to arrest people who post what they consider to be inflammatory social media posts on Facebook or on Twitter. The like. Now, of course, what that means, nobody knows. It's completely ambiguous, but it's clearly a threat. It's clearly a threat being given that you had better stand down and not participate in these protests. It's not working. Such threats are only further inflaming the situation throughout the UK, so much so that Elon Musk himself has come out and said that it does appear that civil war in the UK is virtually inevitable. Unfortunately for the elites, nobody is buying their narrative. The latest poll that just came out found that 70% of Brits blame the protests, the demonstrations, which are getting a bit aggressive for sure. They're blaming it on the government's immigration policy, not on Elon Musk, not on Tommy Robinson. They're blaming it on the government implementing an immigration policy that nobody wants.
Does your financial advisor have your values in mind when it comes to investing in financial planning? Like when you invest in the stock market, do you know exactly which companies you're investing in? I mean, obviously, given the rise of woke Inc., I bet you could think of a whole host of companies you don't want to give a dime to because of what they believe in and how they're contributing to the moral decline of America. And they're certainly not going to do that with your hard-earned dollars. Thankfully, my friends over at Sovereign Financial are committed to helping all of their clients be good stewards by investing your money only in companies you can be proud to own. Click on that link below and you'll quickly find they never invest in companies that support or profit from abortion, pornography, addictive lifestyles, or abuses of any kind. They only invest with companies contributing to positive change in America. This is huge, gang. These fiduciary financial planners always put your interests First, they help their clients be good stewards through tax strategy and planning, retirement planning, and they help you create a legacy for the next generation of Americans. The Patriots at Sovereign Financial are the real deal, so what are you waiting for? Now's the time to get your finances secured and working for you and for the good of our nation. Click on that link below right now to chat with a financial advisor and a true patriot today.
We're finding now that immigration is the number one issue in Britain for the first time in 10 years, right just in time preceding the Brexit. Look at this, gang. You got to get a sense of how gorgeous this is. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely stunning? That's Monaco for you. It's absolutely beautiful. My youngest son is a huge F1 fan, so we were just watching the Grand Prix, the Monaco F1, just weeks ago, six weeks ago or so. Absolutely awesome. So now we're actually walking the roads where the race car drivers drive. So as you can see, let's get you a nice view here. As you can see, people aren't buying it. They're not buying the regime's narrative. And that's why they will ultimately want to shut down Twitter. That's why they ultimately want to shut down social media posts, is because they've lost the narrative. And in losing the narrative, they're ending up losing their power. What's happening in the UK and what's happening around the world is we are seeing the rise of an alternative eco-media system, headed by Twitter, but also Rumble and the like. And what that's providing for is it's providing platforms that can't be shut down. It's providing platforms where dissident voices can put forward an alternative narrative to what's really happening, and then rational citizens can make rational decisions in terms of what they think is happening here. And as we're finding, 70% of the UK public believes that the people ultimately responsible and to blame for these protests are their government, who have implemented immigration policies that no one in Britain voted for and no one in Britain wants. So they can try to shut down this dissent all they want. I think in the end, they're going to find the inconvenient truth that a parallel communication system has sprung up such that the platforms for dissident voices cannot be shut down. And therefore, their narrative will continue to be challenged. And therefore, the elite who now occupy the key institutions of culture in UK, the elite will find that their narratives and their rule is being challenged like never before. I do think Matt Goodwin and Konstantin Kisin are correct that the era of the elites is coming to an end, and that the people are rising up and demanding a change in regime to bring us into a far more responsible policies for the 21st century. And those responsible policies involve border security, economic security, cultural security, in such a way that woke open borders and accusations of far-right extremism are simply the rhetoric of the past. So God bless the UK, and let's just hope that the dissident voices can come to power before things really do blow up. God bless, guys.